What's going on, you boys? Welcome back to another episode of Ran Kyle Everything Sports Podcast. Just me today. Kyle's out of town, so going to be running through my college football locks of the week. So we're going to start off at the Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare, Auburn versus Alabama. Going to have Jalen Milroe under 224.5 passing yards versus Auburn. He couldn't get that against the LSU team, which this LSU team is significantly worse defense than Auburn. Auburn has a great defense this year. They've been pestering quarterbacks all year. Had some inconsistencies, but for one game that Auburn will not have inconsistencies is going to be this week. Auburn always plays up against Alabama, biggest rivalry in college football. So expect that Auburn defense to be pestering Jalen Milroe the whole time. Expect him to go under 224.5 passing yards. The next up for me is going to be Arizona minus 10.5 and minus 110 versus Arizona State. This is a classic matchup of 8-3 versus 3-8. This Arizona team has beaten great teams. They've beaten the Utah, Colorado, UCLA, Oregon State, Washington State, and then barely lost to Washington and USC by less than one score. So I expect this Arizona team to come out and dominate in rivalry week. This Arizona team is a great 8-3 team, one of the best 8-3 teams we've seen in a while. So expect them to dominate early and for a long time. Then for me, next up I have Notre Dame team total over 37.5. It's a high number for any league. I mean, 37.5 points is a lot of points, but Stanford is one of the worst passing defenses in the league. They're one of the worst teams in the league. I don't like the Stanford team at all. And with Sam Hartman being only 3 passing touchdowns away from third all time for Notre Dame, I expect him to be airing it out a lot. He can air it out a lot. He's got a great arm. He's a great quarterback. So for a quarterback that needs to air it out, going up against a matchup of a team that can't defend against the pass, I expect him to air it out a lot, and I expect him to score a lot of points. Then finally for me, it's going to be Florida State and Florida under 24.5 points for the first half. Not that I don't like either of these teams. I think both these teams are good teams. I think Florida State's a great team. I don't know how good they're going to be without Jordan Travis, but now that Jordan Travis is out, not only does Florida have an inexperienced quarterback, but now you have an inexperienced quarterback on Florida State side. I expect them to at least start off slow for both quarterbacks, with it being a rivalry game and it's such a big game at the end of the year. And I expect them – I honestly could dabble in the under for the whole game because I expect them to continue to be slow. But definitely in the first half, these two inexperienced quarterbacks aren't going to be ready for the moment, so expect it to go under in the first half. That's all my college football locks for the week. Thank you, boys, for locking in, and I'll see you next time.